Radio Bypass, bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard. Discover new bands. Here's some old favorites on Radio Bypass.
Hey, Radio Bypass. Today we have another band you need to know. One of our guests has been with us once before, and we've got one extra member from the band joining us today. And I am talking about the band Corvus Lore. So joining us from Corvus is Ryan Jones, returning to Radio Bypass, lead singer, and guitarist Eric Fraser joining us for the first time. And hopefully you caught our previous interview and you know a little bit about Corvus Lore, but if you don't, you're going to learn about them today. How's it going, guys?
Awesome.
Well, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, indeed. Although it'll probably be next Thursday when this is aired. So
Okay.
But yeah, good to have you, Eric. Welcome. And so since we last spoke, you've released a new single. I think just in the last, it feels like it's just the last couple of weeks, but I do lose track of time, admittedly. And that's the tune "Blind and Broken." So that's a new one in front of the upcoming album that you guys have coming out, still scheduled for July next month. That album's Lucida. I always screw up
Lucida. Yeah, it's pronounced Lucida.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do we have an exact date in July yet for that album?
Yeah, the 8th.
8th.
We share it with the rest of the globe, so we're pretty excited about that. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, because last time we spoke, you didn't have an exact date yet.
No.
So that's
we're dancing around with the record label a little bit on that one.
Gotcha. That's how it goes. So is there going to be one more single ahead of it or no?
Nope. We're dropping it all on the 8th. So
Nice.
This will be the third single. So there's Boxing Ballerina, Man of Traffic, and now Blind and Broken, which are all supported by videos as well. So we're
right
to get the rest of the album out to the globe.
Excellent. Well, that's pretty exciting. The new single, Blind and Broken, I really love the drum opening on that song. I got to tell you, even though I'm not with the drummer,
I'm with you.
It catches me right away as soon as I heard it. So I really dig that. So I don't even know, guys. Can we talk about the rest of the record? Can you
talk about anything you want?
Songs that are included on the new album?
Yeah, sure. I mean, to talk about the record itself, I think it's there's 9 songs on there, and there's a pretty good mix, an array of music styles on there. There's an acoustic track on there that I think will catch a lot of people by surprise. And there's some other tracks that are pretty heavy. And when I say heavy, I think, pretty, not super hard rock, but, very heavy riff oriented, somewhat similar to the 3 singles that we have out there, which, for lack of a better description, I think are very radio friendly. But the other songs, I think, take a deeper dive and show another side of the band. They're a little bit more of what I would call a musical journey. So we're excited to share that stuff with you. They're, in our opinions, obviously, we feel they're very strong songs as well. I mean, we feel like we could do singles all day long.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing, right?
Yeah. No, it's exciting, but we can't wait to get this out to the masses, the whole album. So. See what
now this will be your second album since you guys have been a band, right?
Yeah. This will be our sophomore album.
Gotcha. Hopefully no sophomore slump, right?
Right. No, we don't want that.
And you two, do you write a lot together?
We do. Yeah, I would say for the most part, I would say Ryan is the primary songwriter in the band. So a lot of times he'll come to us with a general structure, sometimes a verse, sometimes a chorus, and sometimes there's even completed lyrics that are worked out. So what the rest of the band members try to do is really just give our spin to it, try to add a little bit of color. Ryan and I are both guitar players, so if I see that he's doing something on guitar, I try to think of ways that I can add counter melodies or just something kind of to grab your ear, so to speak, in the mix. But in terms of like what we commit to tape or on the album, we certainly try to record with a sense of honesty and authenticity. So when Ryan and I do tracks, it's usually just a couple of guitars, right? We're not definitely not brick walling a mix with like 50 guitars. And we owe a lot of the I think even the last 3 songs' success to the mix and production of Tim Narducci, who was the engineer and the person who mixed the album. So yeah.
I like that. So yeah. Yeah, no, the songs do sound good. I like your comment about not tracking a million guitars on top of each other either. To me, the guitar work on these singles, you know, the songs I've heard so far, does sound to me very like more 90s-ish, even though I know you guys have a wide range of influences. But but Eric, as a guitarist, who are some of yours?
I would say, well, for songwriting, because sometimes when people talk about guitar players, they tend to focus primarily on skill level, soloing, things of that nature. And if we go down that route, for me, it's Eddie Van Halen. But if we're talking more songwriting, I would say I'm definitely a fan of Jimmy Page. Certainly the DeLeo brothers, I think, are probably 2 of the most underrated guitar writers or songwriters, sorry, of their generation. They're master musicians. Their craft is unmatched. And yeah, and I mean,
there's that 90s influence right there.
Yeah, but from a guitar standpoint, I tend to lean towards the classics. You know, I love Old Yes and Genesis, and yeah, and but I'm glad that you're picking up on some of the stuff that we're trying to put out there. So I'm glad it has an identity, I guess is the best way I can put it.
It does. I mean, I'm still, that's why I'm anxious to hear the whole album. I want to hear if I can hear any maybe 70s influences in the music, because the 3 I've heard, to me, they all sound very 90s-esque, I think.
Right.
I don't know if that was intentional or if these just happen to be the songs that worked out that way.
No, that's just how the songs just kind of worked out. I mean, to Eric's point earlier, I mean, when it comes to writing, we're not sitting down with, you know, a piece of paper and checking boxes off saying, yeah, we got to sound like this, or we got to do this, or whatever. It's all about just like walking in the room and working on an idea and see what happens chemistry wise, and whatever that is, that's what it is. There's no like forethought on what we're trying to strive for, really. It's just like if there's a piece of music that initially catches our ear, we want to work it out and just go with wherever it takes us. And in the end, if it's a great song, then we'll run with it. If it's not, then we'll probably leave it on the cutting room floor.
Did that happen with this album? You got stuff on the cutting room floor?
There's plenty of songs that we have that, you know, we just, you know, we'll play with, but for one reason or another, we're like, it's not ready. We'll come back to it later, you know. I mean, it's actually true with Blind and Broken. Blind and Broken was originally written on acoustic guitar, and it was something that I've had in my back pocket for quite a while. And it was actually the verse music and everything was much different. It was a little bit more of a slower plodding pace type of song, but I don't know, I just really loved the song and the melodies that were going with it and the lyrics, and I just felt like we need to revisit it. So literally, I think it wasn't too long before we went to the studio to record the actual album. We actually worked out Blind and Broken, I think, a handful of weeks before we went to the studio, and it just reinvented it and just fell in love with it all over again.
Yeah, it's a very strong track.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it really is. I like it.
I'm glad you like it. Glad you like it.
I do.
Yeah.
How did that song come together? Did that start with you, Ryan, then, I guess, right? And then maybe
say that again.
I said that song, you said you had it in your back pocket.
Yeah.
So the recording that we hear, I say, I guess it started with you because you had it in your back pocket for a while, but then did you bring it to Eric? And Eric, did you hear something and say, oh, I got to do this, you know?
Yeah, no, what ended up happening there is I brought it into the band like Eric was describing before, and then I think Eric I think came up with actually like what a lot of people call the chorus music. I don't know why I always call it the pre-chorus music, but Eric heard another part and he wrote a completely different part in that one section. Then that's a beautiful thing about just getting together as a band, is everybody has ideas and we just work them out together, and everybody sprinkles in their magic powers all over the thing and make it happen. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Did that song strike you right away? Did you have an idea of that part like as soon as you heard it?
Is that for me?
That's for you, Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think what we ended up, or what I heard in that part was, I think we were just trying to simplify it. So there may have been a couple of chords. I think I just tried to center it around maybe two. And that song structure, it's really, to me, its beauty is its simplicity and the way that it's delivered. Ralph, if you have a chance to listen to the mix in your headphones, there's only two guitars. There's an acoustic on the left and there's an electric on the right. And if you listen to it on a decent sound system, it sounds huge, but it's just two guitars. And the other thing I'll say too is that when we got to the solo section, I really wanted to do something that told a story, and I wanted to stretch out. So that's why the solo just has a lot of long bends, kind of a lot of space, letting stuff breathe and linger. And Ryan's holding it down. You're a guitar player, right? Or a musician?
Not certainly not on anywhere near a professional level.
So it doesn't matter. The only thing I wanted to say is that entire section is built on a single chord and a suspended four on it, but that's it. And it works.
Right.
So I'm super proud of it.
Nice.
Yeah, your solo on there's really emotional, is the way I would describe it. I mean, it's really capturing the whole essence of the song. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and now you got me. I'll have to listen. I have not listened to it with headphones, just through my little studio monitors in here. But I thought the acoustic guitar sounded real nice and bright on these anyway. So yeah, I'll have to check it out with headphones now.
Yeah, crank it up, Ralph. You gotta burn your eardrums off with it. Bury yourself in the mix.
I will do that when we're done today. I'll plug it in and I'll give it.
Yeah, and Ralph, you also brought up the drums too. That to me on this album,
the drum opening is fantastic.
Yeah, this drum, the drums on this song in particular, of the 9 songs, I think Tim just he must have, I don't know, spent. What do you think, Ryan? He must have spent like 3 days probably just dialing that drum sound. And Joe's drum beat I call a floater, because it just kind of floats along with the bass line. And some friends of ours have referred to the track as a smooth song. So I'll take it.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, Joe Cloutier, the drummer, is just that drum line he delivered it's pretty menacing. It's we love it. It's awesome. And Mike Oneto, the bassist, he just rides it and captures it, and just that rhythm section of our band is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. They delivered the goods on that one, big time.
Yeah. No, it impressed me because so many songs, when I first hear them, there'll be a guitar riff usually that I'm like, oh, there's the song, and that hits me, or a really cool vocal part maybe, or something. And then drums, as much as I love drums, usually they're just there. It's just solid, drums and bass are the backbone, right? And they usually just play that role. And then there's certain songs, like some of Zeppelin stuff and different ones where it's the drums that grab you right away. And that's what the song did for me. I was immediately intrigued by the drums, and that was kind of where my focus was the whole song, because of the way it opens. So
awesome. I like hearing that. That's good. Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to hear the rest of these tracks when they come out. So what do you guys got going on? Do you have anything scheduled, like an album release party or anything like that? You got any live dates scheduled around this release?
Eric, you want to take that one?
Sure. Yeah. So we're planning somewhat of a unique event out in downtown San Jose at the Tabard Theatre. Um, it's a theater that was built in the 1800s. They primarily do smaller theater productions, and so we just wanted to create a very kind of unique, bespoke experience for our friends and family to come watch us present the album and play stuff from the first album and play material that is in the works right now. Like we're presenting a lot of material inside of that event, and to open the night we have a band that's going to do some surf rock guitar. The band's called the Reverbivores, and yeah, so Ralph, I always tell people if they don't quite catch the name off the first saying of it, I just say that people who are carnivores live on meat, and people who are reverbivores live on reverb. So
Right.
that's the band. Yeah, and so we're going to have a lot of fun. We've got some new merch we're going to be putting out there. We'll be signing CDs. And Ryan, anything else you want to add about
What's the date
release?
for that? Also,
The date's it's on a Saturday. It's July 7th. I'm sorry, July 8th. July 8th is the date. Yeah. So yeah, we're pretty pumped about that. I mean, it's, to Eric's point, it's going to be a very intimate setting. It's only, I think it only seats like 120 people. So get your tickets because they're going to go. But it's going to be just a really different type of vibe and setting for what, for an album release event than I think just, a lot of people I know. It's a big thing for you as a band, right? And for us, we didn't want to, just do something just as any other day show. So it's going to be a special evening for us there. And then we're playing Bottom of the Hill, I think, on July 21st in San Francisco as well. That's going to be a couple of weeks after that. So we got that gig coming up, and then we'll be down south at the Whiskey in September. So we're just rolling things along and just trying to line up some more gigs and hopefully eventually get out of the state too.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though. I mean, it sounds like it'll be a really nice, intimate evening and a nice way to celebrate the release of the album.
Yeah, no, we're real excited about it. It's going to be great. It's very cool sitting. I mean, open wood beams, brick wall back. I mean, I think what Eric, isn't the facility like 100 years old or something? I don't know.
Well, you were saying 1800s, right?
It was built, I think, in 1860. And,
yeah, so definitely. Yeah, it's got some mojo.
Yeah. I hope it's got good bones still.
We'll find out.
There's an old theater near here that recently I read there was a couple of shows done there in Auburn, and then I read that the roof collapsed just like recently, like after I think it was right after a band called the Grafenberg Disciples had their album released there. I think it was shortly after theirs. Yeah, it was, because I was supposed to go to that show. I ended up getting COVID, so I didn't go. And then a few days later on the local news here, I saw that Auburn Theater is closed now because a bunch of the roof caved in and stuff. And I'm so thankful it happened when the theater was dark. Nobody got hurt or anything. But that's also, I think, from the late 1800s is when that theater was constructed, I believe.
Well, I think we'll be okay. So if you want to come on down and bring, your family,
I would love to.
I think the roof will stay on.
Yeah,
maybe
either. No, that I think that'll be great. And you said you will have the physical CDs available on site that night too. Yeah. How do people get tickets for that?
It's through the Tabard Theatre, I believe, is where it's at, right? They have their website, and you can look up the event there, and you could purchase tickets right there online.
What's the spelling of this theater?
Yes, Tabard, Tabard, Tabard Theatre.
Yeah.
Yep. .org. We've already sold out the first kind of row of seating, or the first closest spots to the stage. but there's still plenty of seats left. We would love for people just to come, even if you've only heard a little bit about the band. We welcome everybody. So get your tickets and come say hi to us.
Well, that's one of the most fun things, you guys watching this or listening to this. If I think most of the people that listen to Radio Bypass, I think, are people that are interested in learning about new bands and hearing new bands. And that's always so much fun. You go see somebody that maybe you're not that familiar with and come out, like, wow, that was mind blowing,
Right. That's always like a fun little discovery.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So much fun.
But there's a lot of great music out there. I mean, you look at the Bay Area and there's a ton of great original music out there right now. It's just, they need people to go out and support them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Same here in the Sacramento area. I would say there's quite a few really good bands I've seen that are from this area. Bay Area, I'm not as familiar. I've only been there a couple of times. I can't remember the names of the venues that I went to, but I'm glad to hear that you feel there's a scene there as well.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
Good. Yeah. And then Ryan, I can't remember. We probably did when you were with us last time, where the name of the band came from, Corvus Lore. So even if we said it before,
guy down there, I think he's there on the bottom of my screen. I don't know where he's at on your screen.
Yep, me too.
Okay.
All right, Eric. What's the story on that name?
Yeah, Ryan's pointing towards me. I don't know. I probably don't need to really go into the backstory of the prior name, right, Ryan?
Whatever you want. We almost got.
Okay, sure. Well, so I'll just say that the band when we originally formed, I think it's 7 years ago, went through a couple of different name changes, and at one point we settled on a name, and apparently there was another band in the Bay Area that had like two of the names or one of the words that were similar, and they sent us a message saying that it may cause confusion with their fan base, and so we just didn't care enough about maintaining that name. But anyways, at that time, Ralph, the album name was Corvus Lore, and we just met as a band and decided that, wow, it was a great album name, but it also is unique enough for a band name. And so I designed the logo for the band and was certainly inspired by Alfred Hitchcock and Edgar Allan Poe, and that was kind of the inspiration for the band, really. Corvus being the genus species of a raven, and lore being the folklore. So that's how the name came together.
That's pretty cool. So no, I don't think we did discuss this last time then, because that's a cool explanation for how that name came. I'm always intrigued by that too. That's one of the things because I'm not that creative to come up with cool names. And so when I hear them, I'm always curious, how did that name come to exist for that band, or or a song title sometimes too, whatever. But because I appreciate the creativity and the thought that goes into these things.
Thank you.
I'm just not good at that. So
we were just excited that corvuslore.com wasn't taken. I mean,
right.
Nowadays everything is taken. You think you come up with the wildest, craziest, most unique name, and then you try to go get the URL or anything. It's like, you got to be kidding me. That's already taken.
Yeah. Or it's taken, but for sale for some ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
Ralph, I thought we were going to come up with a name and find out that there was some kind of Korean or J-pop version of the band somewhere across the oceans.
Right. That's funny. No, that's good. That's cool. And then the album title that I keep having a hard time saying, Lucida.
Lucida, yeah, correct.
Why is the album titled that?
So a lot of the themes of the music and the lyrical content on the album relates in many ways to what I would define as home, or your center, or a place of belonging. Whether it's a physical thing, a space, whether it's a relationship or an experience. A lot of the lyrical content on the album refers to just that. And Lucida, one of the definitions for Lucida is like the center of all, the brightest spot in a constellation, the beacon, a home, the center of a place where other things refer to and we congregate and go to. So that was kind of like the inspiration for the album name, was just like, okay, I got all this stuff lyrically about the theme of the album here, and I just need a title to match it all together. And Lucida was one thing that just came up and just made sense to me.
That's awesome. Again, creative. I love it. I love these kind of stories.
We could have just called it number 2, right?
Yeah, it worked for Led Zeppelin, right? Led Zeppelin 2 was pretty popular.
Right.
That's funny. No, I prefer this. Like right now, it was kind of funny with Extreme and Winger both putting out new records at the same time, and then they just label them for what album number they are. So you got a brand new album called 6 and a brand new album called 7. I thought that was kind of funny. So I would not want to have a numbered album out right now.
Nah. I'm with you on that one, Ralph.
Yeah, that's good. Those are good records, but well, that's cool.
Sure.
So what else, guys? I don't even know, what else we should talk about. I mean, I think it's important that everybody listening to this, check out Corvus Lore, obviously. At the end of this interview, I think I'm going to throw in Romantic Traffic and Blind and Broken both. I think people need to hear those songs again if they didn't hear them on our weekly music show. We know July 8th is going to be the day record drops. You guys are playing.
Right.
Post a link for this theater. Anything else that we should cover while I have you guys here?
No, I just really appreciate the opportunity to connect with you again, and also your audience, and the work that you're doing to get bands like us heard and in the ears of everybody out there. It's very important work. So very, very appreciative of that, because I mean, without people like yourself, I mean, we're having to continue to, try to do it on our own, which eventually, you do have to do it on your own. But I mean, this helps tremendously, and you're doing very important work, and want you to know there's a lot of other bands out there like us that really appreciate you and everything that you do. So thank you so much, Rob.
Yeah, you know me, I do it for my love of the music, and I know how hard it is. It's unfortunate that for guys like us, you in a different way than me, but still a music lover,
Right.
try to do what you love, but then you got to still eat and have a roof over your head too. It's not an easy combination a lot of times. And I think we probably talked about it before, how hard it is now, even worse for musicians, because there's so many channels out there that it's almost too much, and people don't really know where to go.
Right.
To the music they like and all that.
Right.
Because it's not a passive experience. Like when I was growing up, it was passive. You turned on the radio and whatever got played, hopefully something caught your ear, and then you're like, oh, okay, I got to go to the record store and buy this now. Now, if you want to hear music in a genre that you like, you got to do a lot of digging to find it, and that's why I feel like what doing this Radio Bypass thing has meant a lot to me, because I'm hoping that people will, find it a little bit easier to discover bands if it's, all brought together in one place,
Right.
Even though you might not like everything that I choose to play, but I think hopefully you'll at least always find every week something that you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. I got to look into this more,
Right. That's the idea, right? So
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's
And I'm sure you guys are the same as me. Probably you're never not interested in new music, whether it's stuff you write of your own or something new that's out there to be heard. Most every musician is also a music fan. That's what's
yeah,
about
absolutely.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
always trying to turn some stones over to see what the latest and greatest is, and not just in like rock. I mean, it's really anything and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I wish you a lot of luck when this record comes out in a few weeks. Have a great gig on July 8th. I think that place sounds awesome. The Tabard Theatre. And everybody listening, stick around here now. As soon as we say goodbye, you're going to first hear Blind and Broken. I want to play the newest first. And then right after that, you guys will hear Romantic Traffic. Please check out Corvus Lore, corvuslore.com. Follow these guys, check out the record, preferably buy the record, but I guess streaming if you have to. But please support Corvus Lore and check out corvuslore.com to follow these guys. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you so much, Ralph.
Appreciate you guys.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Bye.